Do you feel like you're too old, limited mobility, or you just suck and you can't kip? We're gonna go over the best way to learn how to kip. This is 100% success rate. I've done this with total noobs in my gym and I get them kipping in one day. I'm gonna show you guys how to do it. So let's talk about first, everyone's favorite mount escape. So Adam's in mount on me. We all know how to do the knee elbow escape, right? All I'm gonna have is my elbow on one hip, my hand on the other. I reinforce my grip here, and then I try to get my elbow inside of Adam's knee. So when I do this, what I'm looking for is to bring my leg flat, push his knee out enough that I can grab his ankle with my ankle. I get right at that ankle bone. Right as I catch at that ankle bone, I pull it up and I lock it between my legs. And now to finish it, we just push his knee through that same lock. So I push his knee through the same lock, and now I make space with my arms, I turn it into him, and I turn it into a knee shield, and now we have all of our options. We're ready to go playing half guard, right? So again, this, for the knee elbow escape, it doesn't matter if Adam's weight is forward or up, straight, when we do this, right? We can do this basically at any time, but most of the time, we use it when he's sitting up, because for kipping, we need them to come forward traditionally. So if I need them to come forward traditionally, that means that when I see him sitting up, I'm gonna go for the knee elbow escape. And when he's coming in without any underhooks, if he's bringing his weight forward, this is when we normally can start kipping and throwing our legs in for leg locks. But the problem is that I see with a lot of people is that it can be really difficult to learn how to kip because there's a lot of there is some dynamic movement that goes on with kipping. The way it's traditionally taught is that we start with an extension. So if Adam is like holding onto my head with no underhooks, that's the best like example. Like he's doing a cross, like you're just holding on with your chest. Yeah, he's holding on like this. All I want to do is try to get a bridge, and then I want to immediately go concave with my spine back into a ball, and I'm going to bring my knees and feet together against his tailbone, and then I have my hands in as a wedge, and I ratchet him along my legs until I get one leg through his legs, and then I can go into my leg locks. So he's holding on tight, I bridge, I concave, and then I pump until I get my legs inside, right? So that's the way it's traditionally taught, but a lot of people have a problem with that. And I think one of the reasons is because you have to do so much movement where you bridge up, go small, and then you start going, and it gets really tiring and exhausting. And if you don't get enough of a misalignment of the stomach, like their center of gravity off of yours, it can be really difficult to learn that one. So I'm gonna show you guys a really easy way to do this that'll introduce you to the movement. So when we're here, we're just gonna do the same setup as the knee elbow escape. I'm just gonna put my hand here. I'm gonna put my elbow inside. It does not matter if he's sitting up or if he's forward. Okay, so like even if Adam is sitting up here, all I have to do is turn onto my side like this. Like I'm gonna do the knee elbow escape, but I don't bring my leg flat, okay? I bring my legs together. I put them in contact with his leg. So my knees should be always in contact with Adam's hamstring. They don't come off. This is the biggest thing that happens with new people is that you teach them feet together, knees together, and then you pump, right? You do little pulses. We don't do big swings with our legs. We just do little pulses like this. But what they do, they're like, okay, got it. They go like this, and then their legs come off of the hamstring, right? So when their legs come off the hamstring, I'm not moving Adam. I'm not moving Adam with my shaking. I need to be able to move his knees wider. I need to be able, when we're doing the traditional one, I need to be able to move his body up with my shaking. But if I don't have contact of my knees to his hamstring or his tailbone for the traditional one, then it doesn't do anything, right? And additionally, if I don't have my elbow inside, then yes, I can move my hips backwards, but Adam can always follow me with this knee because I have no limiting factor on his knee following me. So when we do this way that's really easy, the reason it's easy is because we're gonna learn how to keep the knees tight to the hamstring, and we're gonna use the additional wedging of our elbow to help ourselves open his legs up to the point where we can bring our leg in. So he's holding on tight, he can sit up, and now all I'm gonna do is turn onto my side, I curl up into a ball, I have my knee here, knees close and touching onto the hamstring, I keep them there, I start pumping and I bring my elbow and inside of his knee and I start opening it up. So I go, pump, 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 pump. I have 2 knees in now. So at this point, I could decide to keep 2 knees in and go into butterfly guards and things like that. Or I could take one leg out. So let's show it again. So I come here, I put my knees onto his hamstring, and I go pump, pump, pump. I get one knee in, one knee out. I take one out, I keep one in, I throw over into a leg lock. So we'll show this from another angle. No, the camera just cut that off. Show it from here. So just sit up on me. I go into the knee elbow escape. You can just stay like normal. So I go into the knee elbow escape. I turn onto my side. I put my knee in contact with this. I start moving out like that. And now I bring one knee inside, throw my other leg over, and we're back into single leg X, or Rimiashi, and we can start to finish him from there. So again, another angle here. Show it from this side. I put in my knee elbow escape formation. I bring my knees to him. I put my elbow inside of his thigh and I start pumping in contact. Now both my knees are inside of Adam's legs. I just take this one out. I take the top one out, keep the bottom one in. This becomes my wedge so he can't crush me. If I didn't have this, he goes back to the mount. But since I have this in, he tries to crush, he can't. Now I have space to throw over my other leg and we can start to turn his heel for heel hook entries. So just to show you guys kind of the mechanics of how this works, right? If I use my pumping of my legs and just my legs, then I can move my hips backwards, right? So if I have the pumping of my legs, I can actually, you'll see my hips move from here to here just by pumping. So I'm just, right? You can see that my hips moved backwards. But if I didn't have any kind of wedge inside of Adam's leg, then he could just keep moving his knee to go along with my hips. And I never create any big space between his knees where I can bring my knees between him and I, right? So we need the elbow inside of the knee as well as this motion. And when we couple that with my knees being in contact with Adam's hamstring, it starts to move his body as well to make it open up quicker. So it's not even just my hips doing it, it's my motion of my knees and the wedge inside of his knee opening it up, right? So we're making it very, very wide. So one more time. Again, we'll just do this from a side profile. So he's on top of the mount. I get into my knee on my knee elbow escape position. I turn onto my side, make myself concave, bring my knees in contact with his hamstring, and they stay there. I bring my knees and my feet together, and I pump as I have this wedge inside of his knee until his legs open up wide enough where I can bring one knee in, or two if you want that. So I go here, I go pump, 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 pump. Now you can practice just putting two in, or you can take one out and you can throw the other one in, and we can start going into our heel hooks. So this should get you guys started. No matter how poor of mobility you have, I'm confident that you'll be able to hit this in the first day that you try it. So let me know how it goes. I'll see you guys on the mat. This is Eddie and Adam, Crash and Flow BJJ.